Hi everyone. By the end of this class, you'll learn how to make indirect requests. We use indirect requests when you want to give a message to someone who is not present or not available. Let's say, for example, you call a person and the person is not there, but you leave a message. This is what we call an indirect request. Today we're going to focus on turning yes or no questions into indirect requests. And we're going to use if or whether. So we're going to ask a question indirectly. For example, could you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? Or another way could be, could you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? Or another way could be, could you ask Sophia whether she's free on Friday? So let me quickly present some structure. As you can see on the chart, you can see how we turn yes or no questions into indirect requests. So the example that I had given earlier was, Sophia, are you free on Friday? And we turned that into an indirect request by saying, can you ask Sophia if she's free on Friday? Another way that we can possibly do this is by saying, could you ask Sophia whether she's free on Friday? And then a third way that we can actually do it is by saying, could you ask Sophia whether or not she's free on Friday? So all of those three ways are just different forms on how we can ask the same thing. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to write a couple of questions, and then we're going to practice turning those questions into indirect requests. So let me just write the question here, and then we will turn that into an indirect request. All right, there we go. So let's say, for example, we have the first one. Jennifer, do you have a date for the party? So how are we going to change this? Well, first of all, we can either ask with can or could. So we won't be polite. So we want to say could you, right? Could you? And then in this case, we're going to change the verb to ask. All right, could you ask Jennifer if she has a date for the party? All right, so what we did was we added could you, and then we that follows the verb ask, and then that follows uh, the object Jennifer, and that follows if. All right, could you ask Jennifer if, and here is the message that we want to give, if she has a date for the party. Notice that we don't include the auxiliary verb in this kind of question. So that will be one way to put it. Another way could be, could you ask Jennifer whether she has a date for the party? That could be another way to do it. And finally, one last way that we want to learn as well is, could you ask Jennifer whether or not she has a date for the party? Okay. So on the first one we use if. On the second one we use just the word whether, and then we use whether or not. And then the message did not change. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in green just so that you can see that it did not change. Right? There we go. Okay, excellent. Notice that in this case, we are no longer given a message but asking a question instead. And so therefore, the verb that we use is no longer tell, but we use the verb ask. So what I would like for you to do next, I'm going to go ahead and write a couple of more questions here. And this time I would like for you to try them out. See if you can turn those questions into indirect requests. I want you to do it in the three forms that we just did at this time. Alright, so let me just change the size on there so you can quickly see it. So, Jennifer, do you have my number? This is actually the example that is here. Could you ask Jennifer whether or not she has my number? Jennifer, do you want to go to the party with me? Could you ask Jennifer if she wants to go to the party with me? Could you ask Jennifer whether or not she wants to go to the party with me? But what I would like for you to do is go through this exercise following the pattern that you see there. And of course, by doing that, you'll make sure that you are understanding this particular topic.